Hi, my name is Kevin Spitka and I'm working in the department for marine and protective coatings. And since 10 years, I'm working with organoclays to highlight the nice benefit of this interesting product group. When the first smartphones came onto the market 20 years ago, they were quite a big surprise. And it's interesting that there was no market for smartphones because everybody had a camera or a calculator or a calendar, and now there was a new thing which combined all things together. And that's interesting that a very good new product does not fill a market gap, but it creates its own market. And suddenly, when smartphones were developed, everybody had all the things together. So they redefined technology. In the coating sector, there are also different things which we cannot think about that we should miss them, like newly developed binder, functional fillers, and, of course, additives. Are there also technologies that can be combined or that can redefine performance? Let's have a look on CLAYTONE-MPQ. So in general, all our organoclays, they have a very nice procedure and nice effect on our coatings. So the whole Claytone family we have in our portfolio covers the performance from very low polar solvents to polar and non-polarity solvents. And therefore there's a suitable product for each application. And the nice thing with organoclays is that you don't need any temperature activation, or a false body effect will never appear. So that is why organoclays are widely used and have a very nice effect on the effectiveness of the performance of coatings, increased sag resistance, anti-settling, and so on. And interestingly, it's not only that they provide always the same behavior, the same performance, but depending on dosage and filler level, they are sometimes thixotropic and sometimes pseudoplastic. And, which is nice for all the people who like to go for airless application, they have almost no influence on the high shear viscosity. But the problem is that all our organoclays have one disadvantage. It is the problem that outside of Europe, they are all cancelled with carcinogenity 1A. So they have this label inside due to the content of crystalline silica. It is the quartz which is responsible here for the labeling. And the problem is that this is everywhere outside of Europe. Of course, we can argue about, is it in fact respiratory crystalline silica or not? So is it really harmful or not? But the problem is that independent from this question, there's always this labeling on the bags you will buy. And instead of building a complete set, a new set of crystalline silica-free organoclays, so that we double our portfolio, we thought it would be very nice to combine it and have one versatile crystalline silica organoclay. And this exactly is CLAYTONE-MPQ. So all the benefits at a glance. CLAYTONE-MPQ is a very nice product, like all other organoclays, but due to very special selection of raw materials and the newest and modern portfolio in our manufacturing process, we can ensure that this is not particularly large in the polarity range to be used, but also absolute crystalline silica-free. And what's more, we also managed to solve one of the Achilles heel of the problems from using organoclays. It is the storage stability in 2-pack epoxy systems. So let's have an additional look here. All the benefits, again, we would like to discuss. So, as all other organoclays, it is a nice viscosity increasing product. It provides very nice effect in the low shear range, so it improves the settling, anti-settling, and of course the sag resistance. But not only in the component A, but also combined with component B with the epoxy, and also after storage. So that is very unique. And like other organoclays, there's almost no influence on the viscosity on the high shear range, so there's no need for thinning it down prior to airless application when you go for it. And this is also very nice. That is really a good product for almost all polarity ranges. So from very low polarity to high polarity coating systems, that's not a problem. So 3 points: crystalline silica-free, versatile, and storage stable are the 3 keywords when it comes to this product, these things combined. And I would like to go on to maybe the most important thing when it comes to this presentation, the technical results. So here we added 0.5% of this new CLAYTONE-MPQ and 2 other organoclays in a low polarity alkyd primer. So it is dissolved in solvent naphtha in different lower polarity solvents, and we added 0.5% of different organoclays. One, which we recommend typically for this kind of systems, low polarity market standard, and then a high polarity market standard in contrast to see what is the effectiveness. And when we see on the left side, we see the diagram, so the viscosity profile from low shear to high shear, and we'll see that's a nice increase of viscosity when you pick the right organoclay, either the low polarity standard or our CLAYTONE-MPQ. And we see increase in viscosity in the low shear and almost no influence on the high shear. When we have a look on the right side, when it comes to an isolated value, so the value at 0.2 reciprocal seconds, we see, yeah, it's a very nice effect at this specific shear rate. So CLAYTONE-MPQ behaves similar to our standard for low polarity coating systems. And exactly this viscosity increase can also be seen in the ZAC resistance. So you see here the ZAC resistance application from 30 to 300 microns wet film thickness with a step applicator, and the highest thickness is on the bottom and the 30 microns, the lowest thickness on top. And you see at a specific ZAC resistance it starts to flow. And we see here the same effect, the higher the viscosity in the low shear range, the higher is the actually ZAC resistance. 210 microns of wet film thickness can be achieved with only 0.5% of addition level. More is actually not necessary for these kind of acrylics because you know they don't dry anymore if you go higher, so that's a perfect value for this coating system. So we have seen that in the low polarity range, CLAYTONE-MPQ performs very nice in comparison to our low polarity standard. How does it look like in a higher polarity coating systems? Here in a 2-pack epoxy diluted in xylene and isobutanol. Here we added 1.5% of the organoclay, again low polarity standard, high polarity standard, and our new CLAYTONE-MPQ in the component A in the epoxy part. And you see it's a nice viscosity increase again if you pick the right organoclay. So here our high polarity standard would work very well, but also the CLAYTONE-MPQ. So not only in low polarity, but also in higher polarity coating systems. And when we have a look again on the right side of the slide, where we see the isolated value of 0.2 reciprocal seconds, we see a massive increase of low shear viscosity when you use CLAYTONE-MPQ or a high polarity market standard. But you can see that the MPQ is very versatile, so it performs very nice in low polarity systems, but also as an example here in higher polarity system. How does the ZAC resistance look like? I will show you. Here exactly the same pattern can be recognized. We see that there's a massive increase in the ZAC resistance up to 500 microns, so it's a nice product for marine protective coatings, for heavy duty coatings. And here I would like to highlight one of the additional benefits here. It's not only the initial viscosity increase, not only the initial increase of ZAC resistance. The problem everybody has with organoclays, when you use it as the sole rheological additive, it may happen that after storage time with 40 or 50 degrees Celsius, you have a loss of ZAC resistance. That's why organoclays are often combined with other organic thickeners to prevent this failure. And here, one specific highlight is that CLAYTONE-MPQ performs very well even after storage in 2-pack epoxy systems. So that's a very nice benefit, a combination of an additional interesting thing for organoclays or rheological additives in total. So I would like to summarize the most important things. It's crystalline silica-free. You also see that this product performs very nice in a broad range of different solvents, different polarities. We see an improved storage stability and excellent rheological effectiveness. And an additional point is a very nice optical appearance when used in top coats. That is very interesting, but due to the fact that it's so versatile, it really improves the optical appearance here. Yeah, but one question is still open. Have smartphones led that people don't use any other technical items anymore? I don't know how it's with you, but even though that I have a camera in my smartphone, I still have a mirrorless camera at home to make beautiful photos. And even though that I have a calculator app on my smartphone, I still have my calculator in my left pocket for my lab coat. So it's always available for me. So even though that a smartphone combines different things, we still need other things. And this is also true when it comes to organoclays. CLAYTONE-MPQ is a very nice product, our newest technical development. But how about our organoclays we have in our portfolio? Yeah, they remain, and there's a pure justification in the systems they're working with and performing their first class. But if you want a crystalline silica-free, versatile organoclay with effectiveness even after storage in 2-pack epoxy system, then you found one, CLAYTONE-MPQ. Many thanks for your attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via our website or to a direct sales representative.